Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So, yeah, as you can see, Lizardmen here. I'm not actually in control of this, it's Lord Marshal Sotek, he sent this in, and he's up against, this is one of his league games actually, he's up against I don't know, guys, there's, basically this guy's name, there is no sound that those letters make in English dialect, so, I don't know, I don't know, whatever, we'll find out. You'll see at the end, it's not a word, right? There's no way to pronounce it. But anyway, I think he's trolling us with his name. We'll find out. So, Lord Marshal Sotek, he's playing as the Lizardmen. He's up against the Dark Elves. This is one of his league games from the Total War Fantasy League. And it's a good one. So, as you can see from the map choice, a lot of choke points, which is pretty great for both sides, actually. So here, you can see he's got some skink skirmishers, he's got the Bastillodon with solar engine, back here he's got some Saurus warriors and skink co-ops with javelins, more skinks here with javelins, temple guard, Saurus warriors, and in the back is also some Cold One spear riders with the Saurus Scar veteran, so great little anti-large, you know, sort of corpse there, and also the Saurus Scar veteran, if we have a look, you should be able to see the second one from the right there, down the bottom. That is the Plaque of Dominion, which is a big debuff to leadership in a big area when you proc that, which is really cool. It's great. If things start to waver, hit that and they'll break. It's really good fun. Really good to get like a chain reaction going, especially with all the terror that other stuff causes with the Lizardmen roster. It's super useful. He's also got a Skink Chief. I hate Skink Chiefs, they're such pain in the ass. But great choice, they're really good. So great, just to keep harassing things. And they can outrun like dragons and stuff, so you know, harpies could maybe chase them around, but then harpies are going to be, you know, vulnerable to all the skirmishers and stuff, so you know, it's tough. It's tough to deal with the skinks. It's better just to sort of ignore them and hope you can destroy everything nice and quickly. So yeah, pretty cool. So as you can see though, Mazdamundi. So Mazdamundi is a vital piece of this army, because, well, he's the lord, isn't he? But also, he is a great bunker buster. So you know, his spells, banishment, and the, was it Desolation of Cities? Is that right? Did I actually say it right for once? Ruination of Cities. God damn it. I'll get it right one day. Anyway, Ruination of Cities will just destroy, you know, sort of this kind of thing, basically. So you can see here, this is also great terrain for Dark Elves, because you can set up a nice solid line and put a load of horribly terrifying armor-piercing missiles behind it. But that bunker buster, you know, that is Mazdamundi, you know, Ruination of Cities, boom, 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 all that stuff's dead, banishment, kills the rest. It's tough, you know, it is really tough to hold a position like that against Mazdamundi. So pros and cons for both of them, basically, which is pretty cool. So this map's definitely an interesting one. So you can see here he's got some dread spears, quite a lot of dread spears actually, nice and cheap, got good melee defense, which is great because you just want to pin stuff in a map like this. You want to make sure stuff can't get by you. And Sotek knows that, and it's trying to whittle them away with the Bastillodon there. So, not a bad hit. It's doing quite a bit of damage. So, pretty cool. So the Shades, obviously terrifying, really good armor piercing. Hageneth Executioners and Blackguard, again, great armor piercing, one for infantry, one for large. Blackguard Corsairs, just good anti-infantry, they'll just tear through skinks pretty well. Also back here you can see he's actually got 2 Cold One Knights, which is pretty cool. You don't often see these guys. These guys do rampage, unlike the Lizardmen versions, because, you know, I guess they're better trained, I don't know. But these guys will rampage, but they're anti-large, armor piercing, pretty useful. He's also got some Witch Elves, they're great in this matchup for pinning things in. As soon as they get, you know, a big dinosaur or something gets caught by Witch Elves, it's going to get stuck there, and you can just charge in with, you know, Blackguard and get focus fire with Dark Shards and things on it. So they're great, really good defensive unit. But they'll also kill skinks pretty damn well. So, led by Malekith on a Horned One, which is a good shout, slightly smaller target, so he can't get focused down, you know, too badly. He can't get hit by a Tempest, or anything like that, so pretty useful. Here you can also see Reaper Bolt Thrower, which is an interesting pick. On this kind of map it works pretty well. You can see it's just going to be firing at the Bastillodon, and so far it's getting some good damage into it. But the Bastillodon, it doesn't really need to worry about the Reaper Bolt Thrower, you know. He just needs to be able to kill as much infantry as possible with the Bastillodon, you know, get rid of the stuff that's going to have good defense. So we're going to speed things up so we can actually see what happens. And, well, that's one thing that happens. You can see the Dread Spears are getting absolutely shredded to pieces, which is brilliant. So at this point, you see Lizardmen start to move in into this area. Obviously, you know, with the harass of all the javelins and the skinks, that will hurt if he just stands here. So he's moving up. He's trying to fill this space as much as he can, because he knows there's going to be that bunker buster, right, coming in. You know, Mazdamundi is going to hit them with all the big spells, and it's going to be very difficult to hold this for long. You know, the skinks are going to be able to break through. You know, the Temple Guard coming up. They're going to be able to break through. Makes it very tough. So now the Blackguard and Nagarond are getting punished by the Bastiladon. Now the Dread Spears have been pretty hurt. Here, as you can see, Blackguard and Nagarond, they're about to take a Ruination of Cities. So one hit there, not bad damage, but those spears basically get wiped out. So that is some excellent damage on the Blackguard there, and that is something you really want to get rid of early. So these guys are all having to funnel out now, and as you can see with all the skirmishing going on, things are getting pulled apart quite well, so huge amount of damage here. So here's a chill wind to try and slow this stuff down a bit. You can see the Temple Guard and the Saurus Warriors are trying to deal with these Dread Spears and the Blackguard. The Blackguard are still getting shot at by the Bastiladon, I believe. I think he can still shoot from there. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he can't. Yeah, it looks like he's having to go around. So luckily they got close enough to sort of nullify, you know, the effect of him. Obviously he's taking some damage, but cold-blooded can be used on him many times. It doesn't matter too much. These skinks get taken out by Gaze of Malice. Does some pretty good damage. But here you can see these Cold One Knights. They're going to try and deal with the skirmishers nice and quickly. These Dread Spears probably shouldn't keep chasing. And here also the Dark Shards. They're trying to get in nice and close. They can deal with Bastiladon. But they're dangerously close to all of the other infantry, you know, all the Lizardmen units. So Harganath Executioners, they're taking some damage now, because another very expensive target. Definitely worth taking out early. Mazdamundi, he's just watching. He's put a banishment and a shield of the old ones, so all of his units are going to get magic resist, which is very useful if banishment goes the wrong way. You know, you can't control that. So if it happens to go against you, then you're a lot safer. It also puts up leadership, which is, you know, a nice secondary feature. So here the Skink Chief, he's been shooting at the Reaper Bolt Thrower a bit, but it's not really necessary. Over on this side, more Saurus Warriors are getting involved, which is pretty great. So you can see the Witch Elves have been broken there. There's actually an amazing cavalry charge I didn't really mention here. So Malekith comes in. You know, he was probing around, and so the Saurus Skull Veteran and the Cold One Knights charged in here, and the Turw, the Dark Elf player, sent in his Cold One Knights to intercept, and it actually worked out pretty well. You know, losses on both sides, but Malekith got away, so it's pretty damn good there actually. So yeah, he's actually taken a lot of damage. A Arcane Unforging, you know, got landed on top of him, so Curse the Midnight Wind as well, but unfortunately nothing else can chase him just yet. So looks like the Skink Chief is trying to, but here you can see these Shades, they are getting some very good focus fire along with the Reaper Bolt Thrower onto Lord Mazdamundi, and he's going to be taking a lot of damage from this. So that's going to be pretty rough. But you can see the Skinks, they're being held off by the Dread Spears pretty well. Here, really good Gaze of Malice. It works so well against Skink cohorts, because if we look, they only have 30 armor, which is pretty pathetic. So stuff like that works great. So Ruination of Cities goes down here, and honestly, it didn't really hit anything. That was really unlucky. That was incredibly unlucky they all went away from the unit like that. So, but some damage has been placed on him. The Saurus Skull Veteran charged in to try and help deal with Malekith, but he's getting caught on the Corsairs. Witch Elves are now coming in. You can see the Skink Chief is trying to probe? I was going to say probe or prod. One or two. He's trying to probe and prod. He's probing. He's probing, okay? So he's probing Malekith, so that's great. Here you can see some Cold One Knights manage to sneak in the back. They're getting a great rear charge on this stuff, which is going to really hurt. So, I mean, it looked pretty bad for the Dark Elves, you know, in that initial engagement, but now they're actually getting stuck in. It's pretty rough, you know? He's able to make great use out of his ranged units. Unfortunately, those Dark Shards did get a bit caught out. Once again here, massive blob of Corsairs. They can do really well fighting the Saurus Warriors, but big old banishment goes down on it. So, beautiful. So he lost half his health there. The Witch Elves took even more damage, so that's pretty great. But another chill wind slows down Lord Mazdamundi, as well as hitting the Saurus Warriors and the Skink cohorts. So, suddenly, he's very slow, and there's a load of spears and Cold One Knights chasing him, which is definitely rough. So, over here, some units coming back, which is useful. He's going to need them. And, you know, Malekith, he's still loitering, still getting shot at by the Skink Chief, though. And here you can see the Cold One Knights have rampaged, but that's fine. They're focused on Mazdamundi. So a Cold-Blooded and an Apotheosis there, because the major threat right now is actually his ranged unit. So here you can see the Skink Chief is going to dive onto the Shades to stop them firing, which is pretty much the only call he had. Mazdamundi cannot sustain this kind of fire. And his lowered melee defense, it means that these Cold One Knights can do a lot of work to him. Luckily, he's got a lot of backup. You know, the Bastiladon is firing into here to, you know, help break them. The Saurus Warriors are here fighting pretty well. And these guys finally get terrified, but Malekith comes in here and he hits like a truck. So this is going to be rough, honestly. This could be the end of Mazdamundi. Over here you can see that the Dread Spears are chasing away the last of the Saurus Warriors. The Bastiladon is moving his way in so he can get some better shots on things. And you see there's a bit of a goon squad forming over here. You've got the Skink Chief with the cavalry. Very injured though. They're trying to keep this stuff busy, but unfortunately they're stuck on the Dread Spears. So Sotek really needs to change target here, get on top of those shades before they can turn around and fire, because they will be able to absolutely melt anybody they shoot at. Like they did actually kill the Saurus Scar veteran, which I believe I missed earlier. They just annihilated him. He was stood still for a second, one big volley, did like a quarter of his health, it was brutal. So here you can see Cold One Knights are coming back in. They're not going to get terrified again so quickly. But, you know, skink cohort with javelins, there's some Saurus warriors here, some temple guards are coming in. He tries to slow them down with Chillwind, but it might not be enough. And here, these guys getting chased by the Dread Spears, they're not going to be able to get in the way of Malekith here. So it looks like Mazdamundi's going to go. Luckily those Saurus warriors are coming back, but again, they're not going to be able to stop this from happening. Yeah, Malekith's going to keep chasing him. He wants him off the battlefield. Unfortunately, though, his units over here just aren't holding up against the Bastiladon and the Temple Guard and the Saurus Warriors and the Skinks. And over here, they're really struggling against what little Cold One Cold One Spear Riders there are, and the Skink Chief constantly harassing the Shades. The Shades can't get any shots off on here. This is neck and neck, you know, but Corsairs are made for infantry. Reaper Bolt Thrower crew, well, they're just, you know, artillery crew. They're useless. So it's neck and neck, this, because, yeah, these guys are so injured, there's one left. There is one Spear Rider left fighting these Corsairs. Over here, it looks like the Shades are breaking, so that's pretty crazy. Over here, oh yep, this is where things get a bit bizarre. Despite the fact Malekith is right on his heel, Lord Mazdamundi does actually rally. So he's an Apotheosis to get his health up, and he breaks again, which is a pity. So over here, this stuff is all breaking, that stuff is all breaking, but this isn't over, weirdly. So Malekith is right there, right there. This is not very far at all. You'd think that wouldn't happen. No, he's rallied again, which is unusual, to say the least. He's got 500 health, and he's rallied with Malekith right on his heels. So he gets hit, that's halved his health, and yeah, he's shattered now. Shield the old ones, even with that leadership debuff. Mazdamundi had no chance there. I don't know why he rallied. I'm really surprised he didn't just get escorted off the battlefield. But I guess the balance of power is in his favour, because the rest of the army is doing pretty well. So as you can see, you know, the Shades are getting chased off by the Skink Chief. Here, it looks like these guys did eventually kill that one unit of cav, but skirmishers are here. They've got a few more shots to shoot into these guys, so they're not going to stand much of a chance, and there's Saurus Warriors coming in to back him up, so that's not going to go particularly well. Obviously he's going for the Corsairs, because they're the most deadly, and the Reaper Bolt Thrower crew aren't going to be able to do anything. Over here, it's all his Dread Spears against the Bastiladon, and, you know, Saurus Warriors and Temple Guard. There's no hope there either. So, no, Malekith didn't get killed or break. No, the other guy just gave up. It's, you know, it was done, right? There's no way he's getting out of this. There's just too much stuff left for the Lizardmen. So he called it a day. At least I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It seemed like it. Yeah. I mean, seriously, just what is that? Come on, guys, someone help me. So, Lawmaster Sotek versus Turu. Like, what is that? So anyway, but great game, honestly. It was looking terrible for the Dark Elves early on, but they really clawed their way back. There were some great plays there. So, pretty fantastic, honestly. But, I mean, Mazdamundi, he did a great job. But he got so focused down, you know, just those Shades and the Dark Shards didn't really get much done, actually. You know, they tried. I think aiming for the Bastiladon, it was, with their short range, it just dragged them into a fight. You know, too quickly. They caught out of melee, which is a shame. But those Shades did some great work. They really did. Beautifully used. Obviously, the Bastiladon here did some great work itself. You know, it took out, I mean, half of its kills, I think, were Dread Spears, but the other half was split up between the Hargneth Executioners and the Blackguard, so that's pretty great. You know, definitely paid for itself, and also it kept the Reaper Bolt Thrower busy for most of the fight. So, pretty amazing. You know, these Cold One Spear Riders, don't often see them, but they had a whale of a time. They basically traded 1 for 1, you know, the Cold One Knights against the Cold One Spear Riders, trying to get Malekith, so great play by Turu there. Turu, I don't know, guys, I don't know. I'm just going to call him John from now on, okay? So great play from John. But yeah, pretty fantastic. And also, I still don't quite get this, but Lawmaster Sotek, he swears by this. You just rank up to rank 5, and I don't know why. But apparently rank 5 Temple Guards are like the best Temple Guards. Something about them being rank 5 just makes them always succeed. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Apparently it just works, so fair enough. You know, he knows Lisbon better than I do. So it's pretty great though. This was awesome play by both sides, and it was very enjoyable. Because yeah, it was swinging back and forth a lot there. But unfortunately, I think with the early lead that the Lizardmen got, they they just won that war of attrition. So it was pretty cool. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.